Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. I had the window open. We're just gonna go through it. So I bet you're confused because by the clue I gave, you were probably expecting this. But what you're getting is this, and here's why. This movie's shorter, much shorter. This movie long and hard to explain. And I was really going to do this because I love this movie. This is probably my favorite Nolan film. Between this Batman Begins, but I haven't seen them all, but this is a good one. But it's long and confusing. Not as confusing as everywhere, everyone everywhere, all at once, whatever that movie is. All at once, yeah. So my friend Brandon sent me a picture of this. He has this, and he watched this. Didn't he already do iRobot? I swear. The soundtrack already did iRobot. What? Because wasn't that the whole thing? Where he couldn't... With the jokes, or was that something else? That was Hitch. Never mind. Anyway. What is it? He been doing a lot of reviews where it's like, where you think, you didn't already do that. Anyway. So we're talking about Surrogates, starring Bruce Willis, because my friend had this, and I remembered I had this, and it is a sci-fi film. So welcome to Sci-Fi Saturday. Get out of here. In the future, because that's what these sci-fi movies are, in the future, people don't go out and do anything anymore. My kind of town. No, they go out through surrogates, and it amazes me that everyone is not ridiculously fat. They don't go out or do anything. They sit. I mean, Devin Rattray's in this, and he's a fat man. But, you got Bruce Willis and Rosamund Pike, and you see what they look like out of this. So they go out in these surrogates that basically go out and live lives while they're safe in their homes. But after a murder, after a kid is murdered, the mystery is now on it to figure out what's going on, who murdered them, all that stuff. Yeah. And first thing I want to point out is that this concept would absolutely not work. The whole concept is that you are going to be in these chairs with the headset on, and you'll go out into the real world and be safe because your surrogates will take all the brunt. What's to stop somebody from controlling a surrogate and then going into your house and fucking killing you while you're just sitting there? That right there would be the first question. My brother is like, "Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Yes. So you were sitting at home, thing on your head, supposedly safe while your surrogate does everything, right? Yes, that is it. Okay, so my question is, so what's to stop somebody who's controlling another surrogate to go into your house and shoot you while you are controlling another surrogate? That don't sound safe to me, now is it? But yeah. We start out with this guy. He's talking to this woman who is from Species 4, The Awakening. Yeah, she's the hot chick from there. And then his surrogate gets hit by a truck. And later they find his dead body, and it's just a college-aged kid. And it turns out it's the kid of the guy, Cantor, who invented the surrogates. Alright? Who was played by James Cromwell, and that is 2 sci-fi films featuring a big Hollywood star. It was James Cromwell is somehow the inventor of a robot-like synthetic entity. This and iRobot, ironically. Fixing that. And then we see Bruce Willis for the first time, and I went, huh. Doesn't look anything like the cover. He's got his hairpiece on, he's clean shaven, and I go, what is this? This is his surrogate, actually. When he's not in his surrogate, he looks like that. Yes, but he has hairpiece, suit. Yeah, and he is one of those people that does not actually believe. He is basically, this is iRobot 2 years after iRobot came out, basically. He's much like Dell in iRobot, Will Smith's character, Dell. He's not all in on this surrogate stuff. He's not always in his surrogate. And everyone in the world has a surrogate, by the way, but most people do. Most people do. And he'll jump from his surrogate to his real body and then go back in the next day for work. His partner is Jennifer Peters, played by Radha Mitchell. You may know from Silent Hill, the Silent Hill movie, and Pitch Black, as it pertains to this channel. Pitch Black, good film. Sequels suck. Riddick is fine, but Chronicles of Riddick is long, boring slog. Anyway, so he starts the investigation, and during this, his surrogate is destroyed. So he has to now go out in the real world. And I like this scene because it shows that even though he's not fully committed to being inside a surrogate, he still doesn't go out. So he's kind of jarred. There's noise. He feels unprotected. I'm trying to get him this temporary one, but he doesn't want anything to do with it, And, he tries to convince his wife, Rosamund Pike's character, to kind of join him, and she's like, no, this is what I am. I don't do that. No. Also, did I read this wrong, or is she like having a gangbang in her house or something? Like, he comes home and he finds her like top is like this, like that, and she's walking around like this, and there's like 3 other guys in there. Is she having a gangbang in there? Can surrogates do that? So there's this guy that they only call the Prophet, played by Ving Rhames, who is throwing out this prophecy thing, he's basically like a cult leader type person, right? We get Jack Noseworthy, who was the assassin in charge of killing, in charge of who was supposed to kill Cantor, the older Cantor, because it turns out that the younger Cantor borrowed the surrogate that the son borrowed was his. So they thought it was the older Cantor, but it wasn't. And Jack Noseworthy plays this assassin. And then we find out that he dies. But literally the scene before, he's talking to Ving Rhames. So I'm like, and then you have Ving Rhames on the TV saying, he died, and he will be a martyr to the future. I'm just like, so he killed him, right? Because the scene just before this, he's talking to him. So there's no other person that could have killed him if he's dead in the next scene. And then they find Jennifer dead eventually too. And then Tom Greer, that's Bruce Willis' character, Tom connects everything to the police chief, the head of police. When he confronts him about it, he has no idea what I'm talking about, but he is connected. He ordered the hit. He not knowing it was the kid. It is then found out, to the audience first, which should never be the case, but it's fine, that Cantor, James Cromwell, Cantor, is controlling not only the Prophet, but also Jennifer's surrogate, and the surrogate of the assassin who killed Jennifer. Are you catching all that? So he is setting this up. He killed Jennifer, and he was in control of the Prophet this entire time, and now he's using Jennifer's body. So earlier on in the film, they go to Devin Rattray to get information on the surrogates because he got everything on his little computer there. If anything, Devin Rattray kind of looks like I will call Mark, the guy from the South Park episode, the World of Warcraft episode. That guy. Call him Mark because the Great One uses that picture for Mark. Oh, I love Cracker Bank. Cracker Bank, I love Cracker Bank. Each walk time. Yeah, that. Yeah, so he reminds me of Mark. But, so, then, Cantor in Jennifer's surrogate breaks in, basically holds him at gunpoint. He's all tied up, and then because he's got this USB thingy, Tom does, and then Jennifer runs into him, and this is where it's like, okay, what the hell's going on here? Because we found out she was dead, and now Jennifer's surrogate's still running around. Was he in control of her surrogate the entire time? Has she been dead since the movie started? I don't know. Maybe, kind of, sort of, I don't know. But then, I'm sorry about the noise. I didn't want to. I was trying to get this recorded. I didn't want the camera to go away. So Tom shows up at Cantor's headquarters, his mansion, and breaks in. His security won't let him in, but he destroys the surrogate that's there. They're all surrogates, by the way, and runs in. He finds Cantor, and this is where the movie takes a turn, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of a stupid climax, but it gets worse for me anyway. So Cantor reveals he has this virus, that in the USB thing is a virus that is going to deactivate every surrogate on the planet, but also kill who's ever attached to that surrogate. He does this, it's already uploading, and then takes the cyanide pill. So Tom gets inside the surrogate, the Jennifer surrogate, and talks to Bobby, that's Devin Rattray's character, and figure out how to stop it. So he was able to go in and disable where it's going to kill everyone. So that the virus it's not going to kill anyone anymore. All he has to do is type yes to save so that the surrogates don't get fried. And this, for me, is where the movie went from a alright, this is pretty good to a you know, I don't think it would have really changed much. This would have been a high middle of the road. Now it is firmly a middle of the road because of this. He decides to let all of the surrogates fry, which means that everybody inside the surrogate now has to defend for themselves, including his wife. And they see everyone waking up and everything. And it ends with this, what's supposed to be an emotional reunion between himself and his wife finally get to touch each other. But I'm sitting here going, who the fuck made him God? No, seriously. Who made him the almighty, this is what's going to happen situation? Who the hell gave him that power? Like, he basically just made a decision for the entire human race. Right? Instead of, like, there is this thing throughout the entire film of whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing, and what the question is. The biggest question is this ethical? Is it not ethical? That's one of the things the prophet was preaching. Even Cantor wants to destroy them because he realized that he created monsters. So instead of like trying to set up some message of, taking stuff to court, maybe he recorded what Cantor said, and now he brings it to the courts or shows it to the public, and they have to make a decision on whether they want to live with the surrogates or move on. No, let's just have him make the choice for over 6 billion people All the surrogates are destroyed. Psh, now you're on your own. You realize that some of these people might not have been out there on their own at all. Look, think of kids who were born and once they're old enough, they're just thrown in there and they're in there the rest of their lives. Now they're adults, and now there's no surrogates, and now they fend for themselves. You talk about the scene where Tom goes out and is disoriented. Think of everything that's going to happen now with everyone else because they're no longer protected. I felt like the movie just falls apart because he decided to make that decision for every single person on the planet. Who is he to decide for everyone on the planet what should or shouldn't happen? What gives him the right to do that? Who told him he could play God here? Right? The movie falls apart. It just does. So unfortunately, I'm gonna give it a low middle of the road. It was a high middle of the road to a low pretty good, you know. But that ending just made the whole thing fall apart, and now it's a low middle of the road. I almost want to say it's not worth your time, but honestly, up until the ending, it's decent. It's a pretty good watch until the ending and everything falls apart. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on Surrogates? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. This will not be next week's final episode. Nope, I have something else in mind. Something I've been waiting to watch. It's also a long movie, but it's a movie directed by James Cameron. No, not that one. Different. From the 80s. It's not Terminator. I did that one already. Stars Ed Harris and Mary Stuart Master Antonio and Michael Biehn. Yeah. So, thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.